What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and the World Cruise Super Sugo-fest. I just made a video about that. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go check the card at the top of the video. We break down all the stuff about the Sugo-fest. However, there were a couple things that I did miss that I totally just didn't even see, right? So first thing to note about the Sugo-fest very quickly is that right below where it says the step counter, where it says on the 4th 10+1, just below that it says that, yeah, it's going to be a 50 gem multi. So there's none of the, steps are discounted at 30 gems like I was trying to say. Potentially we could see more discounts than what we just see here on the steps. So that is not the case. It looks like all multis will be 50 gems except for every single step here that's advertised as a 1 gem multi. So that's a little bit of a downside there. Also, something to note that I think it may provide, we may need to talk about it a little bit more, which is down below here, the 30th step. It says last wanted poster is guaranteed to be Super Sugo-fest exclusive. 5-star Roger. And you can see that this Sugo-fest is titled as a Super Sugo-fest. So what it looks like, from what we can tell, there's no confirmation on this until we see the official announcement, but what it looks like is that Roger, and it looks like, I think Oden as well, yeah, both Roger and Oden look to be only summonable during a Super Sugo-fest. So that, I don't really know how I feel about that. Honestly, I think that's a little bit of a cop-out, because it means if you don't pull them during this event period, then you're going to have to wait a really long time until they're going to be available on a Sugo-fest again. I would expect every major celebration in the game is going to be a Super Sugo-fest from now on. But something that there is that I do want to point out real quick is that it says the event period lasts for 28 days. So this Sugo-fest lasts for pretty much all of January, which is pretty interesting, honestly. So, it does mean that if you want to get them eventually, you can, you got a whole month to potentially get them. But at the end of the day, like, it's a pretty big investment to go in on a Sugo-fest like this. So that's something to note, right? So it is going to be interesting to see how future Super Sugo-fests move forward. So I just wanted to put that out there, that was something that I missed in the previous video. So now we can move on with this video talking about the new Sugo-fest batch, because a lot of people were excited for both Oden and Roger. Let's go ahead and talk about the batch in this video. And there's also a bunch of free-to-play units as well, which we will also talk about. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's check out the recommended characters and see what these rare recruits are all about. Now, I did briefly have a look at them, but I don't honestly remember what they do. Let's talk about Rayleigh. So Rayleigh is going to be, once it loads real quick, there we go, is a Psi Free Spirit Slasher. His captain effect is going to be a 3-time Psi captain with 10% damage reduction, pretty meh. His special ability, 13 turns, is going to deal 200,000 damage to all enemies, that's pretty good, and then reduces all enemies' damage threshold, okay, and damage reduction as well by 5 turns. That's very nice. And then doubles the type effects of normal attacks for strength and Psi characters. This is one of the best rare recruits in the game, I'm not even kidding. The fact that you remove 5 turns of threshold and Rainbow Shield, and you go ahead and be a 2x conditional to 2 colors, this is, no joke, one of the best rare recruits in the game. Like, not even kidding. That's fantastic. What a special. Crewmate effect, 50 stat boost to all characters, and also all character size slots are just counted as matching. Holy damn, dude. That is amazing. That is a very good rare recruit. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. 5-turn slot bind removal and also 1.5 heal below 50%. Sure. Support effect is to Buggy, Shanks, Crocus, Roger. And it's just stat boost and damage reduction. Let's check out his Rumble effects. So his special in Rumble is going to target Psi-type teammates for level 5 attack and level 3 defense. And supporters like that aren't very useful. And then his passive is level 6 HP up for Psi. That's actually pretty good. That is actually very nice. But unfortunately, special ability is a little bit much to be desired there. So, Rayleigh, just in generic content, I like it. I think he's one of the best rare recruits in the game. Then we got Crocus. My man Crocus finally getting another rare recruit, man. I'm so excited that Crocus is getting a new rare recruit. He looks so good. So he is a Psi Free Spirit Cerebral. Captain effect is a Psi 3x attack boost and 1.2 recovery boost. Nothing too exciting. Special 13 turn cooldown. Reduces damage taken by 90% for 2 turns, heals the crew by 20 times his recovery, up to 2 times max HP, ignoring max HP. Wow! So you can heal above your HP threshold. That is very, very good. And then after the heal, he also completely removes your Remove SFX, which is the blindness debuff. He gets rid of poison, and reduces the crew's burn and recovery down by 5 turns. Whew, another very, very solid rare recruit. Let me pull up the calculator real quick. So, if you give him 100 cotton candies, so it's 369 plus 100, so 469 times by 20. So he's going to be healing for just under 10,000 HP. That's not That's not really that much, but I guess if you are at full HP, remember when you launch the special, it can heal above your max HP threshold. So if you got 20,000 HP and you use his special, you go up to nearly 30,000, and it goes over your max HP. So that's actually pretty cool, right? As for his crewmate abilities, you heal an additional 150 per recovery slot, okay, and then reduces your crew's paralysis by 1 turn. That's a pretty good crewmate effect. I like it. I think this character's pretty good. Recovery bind by 5, pinch healing, again 1.5 below 50. Pretty stock standard. His support effect attaches to Laboon, Rayleigh, and Roger. And also you've got the support effect of once per quest, if the supported character uses a special, you reduce damage taken by 50% for 1 turn, and then heals the crew by 2,000 HP, and then reduces burn by 2 turns. That's pretty good. That's a very good support effect. He attaches to Laboon, which is interesting because there's no real good Laboon characters in the game. Plenty of good Rayleighs, and now we have access to Goldie Roger. Wow, dude. So you get 50% damage reduction, you get a bit of heal, and you reduce burn by 2 turns. What an amazing support. That's fantastic. I love it. I think this character is pretty good. And then his rumble effect, so his special is going to target teammates with low HP for defense up, and then teammates within medium range for 15% healing. For a 30 CT, I don't think it's that great. I don't think he's going to see that much play in Rumble. And his Rumble ability is Psy teammates get level 5 speed and level 2 defense. That's not bad, but I don't see this guy like just being used at all. I just think that I'd much rather use like another Rumble rare recruit or a legend instead of this guy. But it is what it is. Crocus is a good character and he got a good support. I like it, okay? So let's move on to the next rare recruit, which is going to be Cat Viper. So Cat Viper is a strength striker free spirit. Captain effect is 3 times attack to strength. Quick slots are beneficial. Okay. So his special is a 10-turn cooldown. Okay. It reduces bind. No, not bind. Sorry. Despair and special bind by 4. I really wish it was 5 turns. Changes the left column slot into matching and delays the enemies for 1 turn and gives you a 0.8 chain boost for 1 turn. Okay, so the despair and special bind removal, as I said, I wish it was 5 turns. If it was 5 turns, I would have loved this guy so much more. And then he delays, which is, it's not super amazing considering a lot of enemies have delay immunity these days. And then 0.8 chain boost. That's actually pretty good. A 0.8 chain boost will give you a lot of extra damage. 10-turn cooldown though, like you can't deny it. 10-turn cooldown for that is actually not too bad, but I really wish there were some minor changes that would have made him a lot better. He does resist special bind by 4. Again, I really wish this was clocked to 5, and then his special was also clocked up to 5. And then he also makes strength characters quick slots beneficial. That's a very good crewmate effect to have. Just all of your negative slots are counted as matching for your strength units. That's fantastic. And then he also has the enrage, so by 150, and then also reducing enrage or the increased damage taken by 2, and then he has a critical hit 80% chance for 8% additional damage. Pretty good. Support effect is going to be just HP boost. That's not very good. I don't like that at all. And then his rumble effects. Let's peep the rumble. So he is an attacker style. So he's going to go ahead and target enemies in a medium range, frontal for 1.5 attack. Striker and free spirit teammates get level 5 attack as well. For 25 CT, that's not bad. Let's check what his passive is. His passive is striker and free spirit teammates get level 5 attack and level 5 speed. That's not terrible. It is not terrible, I'll admit. Do I think he's going to see play? Maybe. I think there is an opportunity for him to potentially see play, but honestly, he's just okay. He's just okay. He's not terrible, but nothing like god tier either. And then our last generic rare recruit is going to be Dogstorm. So Dogstorm is also a strength unit. He's a strength slasher cerebral. Captain effect is strength 2.75 attack. If you're below 50%, you get a 1.5 chain boost, or chain multiply growth rate boost. So it's very similar to his legend counterpart, actually. Again, 10-turn cooldown, reduces paralysis and attack down by 4. And then the right column slots into matching, and then you get a 2 times attack boost against delayed enemies. So obviously works exceptionally well with Neko Mamashi. And if the enemy can be delayed, that's pretty phenomenal actually. So you get a lot of utility from both their specials, a full board of slots, you get a 2 times conditional boost and a chain boost on top of that. So, you know, if you can get the delay, then it's good, but Neko and Inu are a little underwhelming, honestly. I don't really understand it. Like, the debuff removal should have been 5 turns. Would have made this character so much better. So much better. But it is what it is. I definitely think Crocus and Rayleigh are much, much better. Crewmate effect is Slasher and Cerebral characters get 50 base attack by 50 when below a certain HP threshold, so it's probably like 30% or 50%, something like that. And then he also makes strength characters dex slots matching. That's not too bad either. And he has the enrage buff, very similar to Neko, and then critical hit, same as Neko as well. Support effect, it's going to be an 11% stat boost to Sicilian and Cat Viper. All right, let's check his Rumble. So in Rumble, he is going to be essentially the same thing, but it's for Slasher and Cerebral instead of Striker Free Spirit. And then his passive is going to be Slasher Cerebral, level 5 HP, level 5 Guard. That's actually not too bad. That's actually a pretty good passive, to be honest. Yeah, level 5, 1.5 attack, frontal range, and then defense up for Cerebral and Slash. Okay. In Rumble, I think Neko and Inu are much better, but in generic play, I think Rayleigh and Crocus are much better. But now, we move on to the Sugo-fest exclusive Oden. Kozuki Oden, which I've already talked about in my previous video, talking about what they do and all that, but let's go ahead and peep them. So, Kozuki Oden officially is a Strength Slasher Free Spirit Captain effect, Rainbow 4.25 attack, Rainbow 1.5 health, that's a lot of health by the way, and also boosts Strength character's attack by 4.75 when they have a Wano slot, and he makes tandem slots on your team transform into Wano slots as well. He doesn't increase the chances of Wano slots appearing, but it's just, you know, if you have a tandem slot, it's just Wano instead, which is pretty cool, right? So that's his captain effect. It's a good captain effect, mind you. 4.75 with a Wano slot is pretty insane in terms of the raw multiplier, and especially when you count his special and what it does. Yeah, it's pretty good. Now, when you do use him as a captain, you have access to his super type special. So his super type special requires certain characters on your crew. Namely, you need a Kinemon, a Kanjuro, Raizo, Okiku, Shutenmaru, Dogstorm, Cat Viper, Kawamatsu, who does not have a character in the game yet, Denjiro, who does not have a character in the game yet. Well, there's no named Denjiro, but we have other characters I'm not going to spoil. We have Momonosuke, Hiyori, which we do have Komurosaki, but no named Hiyori characters. And it also counts for Goldie Roger and Edward Newgate or Whitebeard, all count for his super type. His super type says boost his own base attack by 1,000 and then transform his own slot into Wano that goes through block orbs. And then, of course, strength characters become super strength. I'm not a big fan of his super type special. I think there could have been some minor changes that would have made it a lot better. I would have loved to have seen, you know, maybe add like a 1.0 chain boost for one turn during the super type activation special, like during that one turn. I think that would have been a way cooler super type special, just, you know, have a one turn huge chain boost. So even if Oden is the only character that can get a slot on your team, at least when you attack with him last with a huge chain boost, he's going to hit ridiculously hard. But unfortunately, that's not the case. It's just 1,000 base attack and his own matching slot. So it's interesting, but either way, his special ability, 13 turn cooldown, is going to go ahead and make your crew's strength slots into Wano slots, and then he also will go ahead and change any type slot on your team will become a strength slot. And something that I just forgot to mention there is that the effect of changing strength slots into Wano lasts for 2 turns, by the way. That's a really cool effect. So that lasts for 2 turns, and by the way, the activation of changing all your type slots into strength, and then the strength slots into Wano, all happen simultaneously. So it does mean when you launch the special, any type slot you have will automatically be transformed into a Wano slot. So that's pretty awesome. Any type slot becomes Wano. And then at the end of that, he will go ahead and boost the slot effects of strength characters, of slasher characters, and free spirit characters by 2.5 times for 2 turns. That's a very good special. I think this is a very powerful special. And remember, you can use this guy as a sub, and this is, I think, yeah, the first character in the game that can generate Wano slots as a sub. Because Luffy, Zoro, obviously, every time they switch, they give themselves a tandem slot, but when they're used as a captain, the tandem slot is Wano, of course. But now we have this guy. You can use him as a sub to just generate Wano slots for any captain that you have. That's extremely powerful, because Wano slots are the best orbs in the game in terms of overall damage output. And remember, Wano slots cannot be changed by the enemy. So if you have Wano slots and you carry them through multiple stages, which you are able to do, then, you know, the enemy just can't get rid of them, which is super powerful, right? Great special. Now, for his crewmate effects, reduces his own special charge time by 1 turn for every time another slasher or free spirit uses a special. This is a fantastic special ability, or a fantastic crewmate ability, should I say. And then also, everyone's strength slots are counted as beneficial. Just adding that, you know, as a crewmate effect is pretty nice. Now, he does have some pretty interesting potential abilities. Critical hit, 70% chance for 7% additional damage. That's not super amazing. I wish it was a little higher. He's got barrier penetration. He completely resists barriers when he's at level 5. That's very powerful, especially because Global has the brand new buff to the barrier pierce. And then his final one is completely resisting slot bind reduction. Or completely resisting slot bind altogether, which is fantastic. That's really nice to have. And now his support effect attaches to Whitebeard, Kinemon, Kanjuro, Dogstorm, Momonosuke, Cat Viper, Raizo, Okiku, Shutenmaru, Goldie, Roger, Denjiro, Kawamatsu, Hiyori. Pretty much any character that, you know, is required for his super type, he can attach to as a support. And then it says, changes that character's slot to Wano and reduces their special charge time by 1 turn at the start of the final battle. That is freaking awesome. A support effect that just generates a Wano slot at the end of the fight, that is super powerful. I love that. That is so good. What an amazing support. Now, we can actually have a look at his Pirate Rumble ability. So let's have a look at this. His special ability, 32 CT, targets all enemies for 1500 fixed damage. And then after that, targets enemies in a large range horizontal for 2 times his attacker's damage. And then, slasher characters will get a level 7 attack up for 20 seconds. This is one of the best Pirate Rumble specials in the game. The fact that you deal a bunch of fixed damage, and then you go ahead and deal 2 times his attacker's damage. And he also is an attack up buffer as well. Like, this character is super good. This character is amazing. So slashers just get a huge buff from having this guy on your team. I love it. He's super good. As for his passive, he's going to go ahead and give your slasher characters special CT speed level 5 and level 5 attack up. So again, just huge buffs to the slasher class. I love that. You know, considering he's a strength super type character, I was kind of expecting him to be, you know, solely strength based for his rumble effects, but no, he's just like, you know, any slasher unit just gets huge buffs from this guy. I love it. It's super good. His resistance as well, just notice, completely evades action bind and paralysis. So if you go up against a Kuzan, he is completely, like, he just completely ignores Kuzan's action bind effect. This guy's awesome. I love Kuzuki Oden. He is so strong. But we are not finished yet. We still have to talk about Goldie Roger, because Goldie Roger is an absolute chad. I love this guy. I think Goldie Roger is arguably one of the best legends in the game. He is freaking sick. So Goldie Roger is a Psy, Free Spirit, Slasher, Captain effect, nullifies the effects of remove beneficial effects and remove accumulated value once per quest. That is the first character in the game to do that. Anytime the enemy removes your beneficial effects, he just resists it. He only does it once per quest though. Now, one thing that we do need clarification on is, does it mean that if you've got double Roger, you can resist 2 activations of remove beneficial effects? If I had to guess, I would say yes, but we don't have confirmation on that yet. But I think that is actually the case. Now, past that, Rainbow, 4.5 attack, Rainbow, 1.3 health, completely removes any despair that gets inflicted to your team. And then during the turns you activate his special, for 3 turns after you use the special, he's a 5 times captain instead of the 4.5 times. I mean, like, yeah, this guy's pretty freaking good. This guy's amazing. This guy's, it's one of the best offensive captain abilities we've ever seen. It's super powerful. And just having the effect to just remove, or just negate 1 activation of remove beneficial effects, having a little bit of HP boost as well is quite nice. And then you don't even need to bring a despair remover if he's your captain. Though I think if he's binded and then he's despaired, I don't think he removes it, but even still, that's not very common that happens. It's very good, right? Now, when you use him as a captain, you get access to his super type special. So his super type special requires certain characters on your team once again, and you can use Kozuki Oden, Silver's Rayleigh, Edward Newgate, Crocus, Shanks, Buggy, Dogstorm, Cat Viper, and Podcast D Ace. I love that they had Ace for the end of his requirement there. Now, I saw a lot of people on Discord actually not liking Roger's super type special, and I don't understand why. The fact that he just gives a full board of slots through block orbs to every single character in your crew, I don't understand how you could consider this a bad super type special. There are plenty of worse super type specials in the game out there. This is a very good super type special. This character can just give you a full board of orbs whenever you want, and it cannot be interrupted. It is extremely valuable to have. And then also side characters become the super Psy, so they do enhance color affinity against int enemies, of course. But anyways, his special ability, 13 turn cooldown. It's a very long special. 1 million fixed damage to all enemies that ignores all defensive effects, base defense, and for the first time in One Piece Treasure Cruise, normal attacks only. He will go and deal 1 million fixed damage guaranteed. When you launch a special, no matter what they do, you're guaranteed to do 1 million fixed damage to them, which is amazing. Now, on top of that, he will also boost all characters' attack by for 1 turn, and it's a variable attack value boost that he gives, and it's totally dependent on how much damage that Goldie Roger does in normal attacks before you launch his special. So if you've done no normal attack damage, then Roger's only a 2 times boost to your whole team. Oh, only a 2 times boost to your whole team, right? And then if you've done 1.5 million with normal attacks with Roger, it's a 2.5 rainbow attack boost. And if you've done 3 million damage with Roger's normal attacks, 3 times attack boost to all characters in the game. What a special, right? 3 times attack boost. And then there's an added effect here as well. If you use him as a captain and you launch his special, extend the duration of slot effect boost by 1 turn. So this is meant to be used with Kazuki Oden as a sub to extend his orb boost for multiple turns. And of course, you know, if you use his super type special, you can get a full board of orbs, full board of Wano slots, 5 times attack boost. It's crazy. You can see where this is going. It's a crazy boost. Now, you know, you don't have to use Kazuki Oden to get, you know, all of those effects, you know, that'll help, you know, your team. You could actually use Wano Law, right? Wano Law is a rainbow 2.25 orb boost. He has that base chain effect as well, but you can use the Roger special to extend Law's orb boost as well. So you can use Oden or you can use Wano Law. There's lots of good applications for this effect. It's very, very nice to have. So that's that. Let's talk about his crewmate effects. First of all, everyone on your crew, 100 base stat boost, that's pretty nice. And then also it makes all of his type slots beneficial to himself, which is also pretty good. So it means as a sub, he's going to have more matching slots, which means that his normal attacks will do more damage. Makes sense. For his potential abilities, he's going to go ahead and have the Enrage, 200 Enrage, and also resist increased damage taken by 3. He also will have slot bind resistance only by 10 turns, so Kazuki Oden has a much better slot bind. And then you got the critical hit, which is a guaranteed 10% boost every time he hits a perfect. So, you know, Roger's got the better crit, but Oden has barrier penetration, and he also has the perfect removal of slot bind. So that is the main difference there. Now, as for his support effect, he attaches to any character in the game, and it's a guaranteed 11% base stat boost. I think hands down this is the best stat boosting support. Like, you have to max this support if you have this guy, because there's no other Roger in the game. Like, he doesn't compete for spots on your team. Just guaranteed 11% boost on any character. It's the best stat boosting support in the game, just because there's no other Roger, right? It's perfect, right? Let's talk about his Rumble effects. So his special ability in Rumble targets all enemies for 2,000 fixed damage, and then it also will target enemies in a medium range for level 7 defense down, level 7 attack down, or sorry, it's level 7 attack down, level 5 defense down, and then level 10 speed down. All of those debuffs last for 15 seconds, so the 2,000 fixed to all enemies is great, and then a bunch of debuffs in a medium range frontal, so that's nice to have. I love that, right? And the fact that this guy is also a slasher, you can partner this guy and Oden together. Man, it's so good. Now, his passive is interesting. For the first 30 seconds, your whole team gets level 3 defense. And then for the first 60 seconds, your whole team gets level 5 attack, level 5 speed. And then when the timer goes below 40 seconds, he will go ahead and give your whole team level 6 speed, CT speed up. So, you know, below that 40 seconds, he tries to speed up your team to ensure that, you know, you get your specials up and try and take down the enemy as fast as possible there. So it makes sense. It's actually really powerful. So, you know, at the start of the battle, he's just, you know, buffing your team, giving defense and attack and speed. And then towards the end, he's like, you know, screw the stat boost, get your special up, make sure to kill the enemy. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. And then he actually has, again, another really cool resistance, completely evades special bind, action bind, and paralysis. So once again, another character that just completely negates V1 Kuzan's action bind. I love that because I hate versing Kuzan. So it's nice that he actually has that, right? So that's all the effects of the new batch. I think they're pretty awesome, right? However, we are not done yet. There are actually some pretty interesting things that we need to talk about when we go over to the event page, because there was some stuff that was not announced that we've actually found, and it's very, very intriguing. So first of all, if we go over to the Sugo trial quest, it has like a free team that you can like try the quest at. You get a rainbow gem for clearing it. But one thing to note is that they're using a brand new ship that we don't have access to yet. So this is actually the Oro Jackson, and it reduces, reduces all character special charge time by 1 turn at the start of the quest, and then it boosts free spirit. If I could just pull it up, if I could click on it properly, it's not letting me click on it. Oh my god. There we go. Free Spirit and Slasher characters get 1.6 attack, 1.3 HP, and then it also will make their recovery and tandem slots matching as well, and then also makes Perfects easier to hit, and also heals 1000 HP at the end of the turn, and it has a 9-turn special cooldown of reducing paralysis by 2 turns. This is arguably the best ship in the game. The only real downside to this ship is that it only will give the attack boost to Slasher and Free Spirit characters. That's the only real downside there. However, if you are using a Slasher or Free Spirit team, then my god, this is the best ship in the game, hands down. This is so powerful, man. I love it, man. But anyways, that is also not it. There is more information here, because on Extra Island, this is also time travel to the 27th, when the Sugo-fest goes live, of course. So we've got the Oden's Great Adventure Quest. So yeah, whatever, you can just farm this and you can get some drops from it, whatever. I don't really know what it's all about yet. There's a white bid quest as well, so that's also pretty interesting as well. And then there's also this quest here, which is the one where you can get the skill books and stuff, which is pretty cool. However, there is actually more stuff that we could talk about real quick. Okay, so shout out to my man Solaris for actually getting this information from the game. So there were actually a couple of free-to-play units that were announced. There is going to be a free-to-play Buggy, a free-to-play Shanks, and yes, there's going to be a free-to-play Whitebeard as well. So this one here is the free-to-play Buggy. So his special 10-turn cooldown changes all slots into strength, that is amazing, and then reduces the duration of all enemy barriers by 1 turn, sets the chain multiplier minimum value at 1.5 and a max at 30 for 1 turn. So that's a very similar effect to the free-to-play Raid Crocodile, very similar, but on top of that, removing barriers, full board of strength. He doesn't get through block though, so that's a little bit of a downside there, but even still, it's actually a pretty good special for a free-to-play unit. Now the next one is going to be Shanks. This is the free-to-play Shanks, Intimidation to save a friend, 10-turn cooldown, reduces the special charge time by 1 turn, reduces the crew's bind and the chain multiplier decrease, or the chain multiplier reduction. I can't remember the name of the effect, but he just reduces the chain debuff by 4 turns and then gives you a 0.7 chain boost. So remember that you can actually use the chain boost and this chain effect from Buggy in the same turn. So you get Buggy's chain effect, you can get Shanks' chain effect. That's actually really good. I like that a lot. And then we have the Whitebeard. So I actually haven't read what the Whitebeard does, so this is going to be very interesting. Reduces one enemy's HP by 20%, reduces the crew's bind by 4, reduces all enemies' defense up by 4, and if 4 or more side characters are on the crew, you get a slot effect boost by 1.75 for 3 turns, and then if it's 4 or more strength units, you get a 1.75 attack boost. So that actually makes perfect sense. It means he works really, really well with Roger, or really, really well with Oden. But I guess, you know, aside from the utility, he's actually a pointless unit if you've got both of the Sugo-fest exclusives. I think, yeah, the Whitebeard I think was a strength character. So, you know, you're mainly going to be using him on a strength team, but either way, you can use him on whatever you want, right? Because Roger's an attack boost, so you can use him on a Roger team. If you've got predominantly Psi units, you can have an orb boost, and then if you got him on an Oden team, Oden is an orb booster, Roger can provide you with an attack boost instead. So I like that. I like that he can be used on both teams, and he does have a bit of utility on top of that, reducing bind and increased defense by 4 turns. He's in health cutter as well. So yeah, I think all these free-to-play units are actually, like, pretty good. Like, they actually work really well with the batch. I don't think they're, like, god-tier free-to-play units, but it's nice either way. It's nice that they're actually available. But with that being said, that is pretty much it. That's all the information that we have currently about all of the stuff that's coming. But of course, if there is official information that is announced that we didn't talk about yet, I will definitely bring you guys additional videos on that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video today, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.